What's going on in the San Diego real estate market? Interest rates are crazy, prices are going down. What's happening? I want to update you on everything. It's been a surprising and crazy season, and I want to dive into all the numbers so that you can be really well prepared for making whatever decision you need to make. If you're looking to buy, if you're looking to sell, or maybe you're just kind of curious what's going on with your own home value, I've got updates on all of that coming in this video. Hey, my name is John Glutch, and I'm the team leader of the Glutch Group in San Diego. And we've got a team of amazing agents who are out there every day working to buy and sell homes with their amazing clients. And I want to talk to you about what we're learning, what we're seeing in the marketplace. So first, let's talk about interest rates. As you can see here, interest rates have been kind of up and down. If you look at like the 3-year time horizon, you can see the rise in interest rates, but then they kind of plateaued and we saw some falling, right? Where they got as high as 7, almost 8, and have kind of bounced around. And here's kind of the surprise is everyone sort of expected the interest rates to drop toward the end of this year, right? I'm filming this in October, and the Fed a week or two ago announced that they were lowering interest rates 0.5 point. That's the first decrease in years, and everyone thought, oh my gosh, it's going to be great, right? Interest rates are going to go down. Well, that's not what happened. The economy is doing better than we thought. The recent job numbers that came out were much better than expected, and that when the economy is doing really well, it does not give any incentive for mortgage interest rates to go down. And so what we see here is they've actually gone up. And so now we're here in this season. So if I kind of zoom in here, you can see this recent bump in interest rates. So it's a bit of a surprise for people. And I think one thing I want to point out in this video today is a lot of people are sort of waiting to make decisions with this anticipation that interest rates are going to change. And I just don't know that they are. The interest rates are already baking in the expected, the anticipated actions of the Federal Reserve. So these interest rates are already anticipating decreases in the Fed funds rate. And I'm not going to get super into that today, but all to say that just because the Fed lowers rates does not mean mortgage rates go down, as we can see really clearly here. They bumped up, in fact, about 0.5 point after the Fed made their announcement. Not directly after, but really close after. So this idea that I'm going to wait till the Fed lowers rates has been one that I've been hearing a lot lately. And I just want to encourage folks, we don't know when that's going to happen. It could be years. And so my suggestion, big picture, is let your life make the decisions for you. Timing the market is super, super hard. It's kind of impossible. If you were an expert at that, you wouldn't be watching this video. I don't know, you'd be in the Bahamas somewhere. So that's what's going on with the interest rates. They're kind of putting along around that 6% mark. And that's what's happening. Also, I want to talk about elections. That's the other big thing in the news. Everyone, I'm going to wait till the election. We're going to see what happens. And I get that. And there's a level of economic uncertainty. This election in particular feels very contentious. And so I get that concern. But the facts just sort of don't bear out the idea that the election has a giant influence on what happens in real estate. That just hasn't been the case historically. So this is a post that Mike Orr, and he runs the statistics for Arizona real estate, but this is true. Arizona's a big market, Phoenix in particular, 7 million people. So this is just good proof that elections don't move big markets. They just don't in terms of real estate. And so you can see here his commentary. The short answer is no. There are always a few buyers who loudly claim they're deferring any purchase decision until they find the real estate or the results of an election. These people are a tiny proportion of the total, insignificant in the overall context. In fact, we examined the volume of sales in the 5 months leading up to a November election. And so here's the past several elections, and you can see sales were stronger, sales were in line, sales were lower. These are when Republicans won, Democrats won. And so we just don't see statistically any factual evidence to dictate that there's any kind of movement in real estate related to the results of an election. There's certainly going to be people who talk about that, but in general, that's just not going to move the needle much. So again, if you're waiting on the election, we won't have much time till that happens, but so go ahead and wait if you want to. It's only a few weeks away, but it's not much is going to change. I'll spoiler alert. Real estate's going to kind of keep doing what it's doing. There's not going to be a huge effect based on who wins the election. Here, let's look at the numbers. Here's what's happening in terms of pending sales versus active sales. So new pending is the white line there, and new active listings, properties that have come on the market is the blue line. And so you can see now for quite a while, for months now, the number of new actives has been outpacing the number of new pendings. And so what that means is inventory is growing. So the good news is if you're buying a house, there's more options. You could probably see that as you're looking around in the marketplace. There's lots more opportunities for you, which is great, more selection, and that's a nice thing. What that is causing to happen on the seller side, if you're listing, is prices are getting a lot softer. So because there's more inventory, more for buyers to choose from, interest rates are high, so some buyers are kind of on the fence or out of the game entirely. It's definitely softening up. We're seeing inventory increase and the market soften, and you can see that in days on market. So you can see here we're seeing a pretty serious increase in the days on market. This is not a great indicator of what's going on in the market, but it is an indicator, so I like to talk about it. And it's one everyone can understand. Like if it's taking longer to sell homes, that's an indicator that the market is softening. So that's definitely what we're seeing here in San Diego. Let's take a look at the actual numbers here as well. So you can see here the difference between attached and detached properties here and kind of the change of what's going on in terms of prices versus 2023. So on the left-hand side, we see the detached home numbers. So from all of September 2023 versus all of September 2024. So you can see that new listings this year versus last year is significantly more. 12% increase in new listings in September, 14% increase in new pendings. So a lot more houses went pending than last year as well, and an increase in sales. So a lot more activity on the detached side. Pricing, you can see here, has gone up a little bit, not a ton, 5.79%, although we're seeing that soften even more. That I expect those numbers in October to go down. I think the October versus October numbers will be less of an increase there. And you can see on the detached side, so condos, we've actually got a price decrease. So we're down 2% year over year. So a really different picture between attached versus detached, so single family homes versus condos. And then inventory, you can see a gigantic increase in inventory, right? 37% is a huge number this year versus last year. So again, if you're a buyer, that's great news. A lot more properties for you to choose from. You're not fighting over houses near as often. It still happens, but it's not as common. Months of supply, 2.4 months, so a lot more supply on the market there. Average days on the market has increased. Affordability has increased, so you can see that, or has gone up 7.69%. So we've got, some definitely statistics here that would show a softening market, and we're experiencing that as we list properties. Very few are getting multiple offers now. The really nice ones that are priced right do, but most of them don't, and so we're seeing a real softening in the market. Now, what does this mean for you if you're a home buyer, home seller, or you're just a homeowner? I'll walk you through those things. If you're a homeowner, just curious what's going on with your value, it's probably kind of putting along at flat, depending on where you are in the market, maybe a little bit down, maybe a little bit up. Different towns are doing different things, but no need to panic, right? There's no crash coming. I don't anticipate some big giant swing in prices. Just, enjoy your house. Be glad that you got yourself a beautiful home that you get to live in. So homeowners, hold the course. We're not seeing the crazy 30% appreciation we've seen a couple of years recently, but that's a good thing. We can't sustain that. If you're looking to buy a property, great news. More options for you as you're looking at properties, which is wonderful. And what I've been encouraging people is the interest rates certainly are higher than we would hope they would be, but you don't want to sit around and wait forever for interest rates to go down. That who knows how long that could take. If it did happen and there was some giant interest rate drop of 1% or 2% or something, a lot more buyers would flood into the market and you'd be competing with lots more people. So that would be bad. Why not just buy a property while you're not fighting against an army of people to get into a property that you love? You gotta, bite the bullet on that high interest rate, but then you can always refinance in a year or two down the road. If and when interest rates get lower, you can refinance. We also have a product called a 2-1 buy down that we do, where we can actually make your interest rate much lower years 1 and 2 of the purchase price, of the purchase when you buy the home. So if you're interested in that, we can talk to you all about that as well. If you are looking to sell, same advice. I would just move on with your life. If you want to sell your house, sell your house. This would include people who are looking to sell and buy another property. I just don't think there's anything to wait for. If interest rates fell, sure, there'd be more buyers that would enter the market, but also there'd be more sellers that would enter the market. And this kind of perpetual waiting game of waiting for interest rates, eventually it's going to get old. And if it's getting old for you, I would say move on with your life. We're starting to see that, as you can see in the numbers here, a lot more properties being listed right now. And I think that's just a result of people going, hey, look, I'm not going to wait around forever for this theoretical change to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and sell my house, get my house listed. So I wouldn't work real hard to time the market. I don't think there's going to be a big swing one way or the other. I think we're going to see consistent softening throughout the fourth quarter here, where things are kind of just moving slowly. And then, like every year, we'll probably see things start to pick up in January when people get kind of back in action after the holidays. Look forward to working with you. Thanks so much for taking the time to check out this video. Please do reach out if you need any help at all with buying a home, selling a home, getting your home valued. Just reach out. You can reply back however you saw this video. Comment, reply back to the email. If it's on social, drop a comment. We would love to hear from you. Thanks so much, and happy house owning.